Salutations, kindred souls. Welcome back to another episode of Lux Martin Enlightenment. I'm Lux, and on this channel, we talk about how healing, wisdom, and integration are the key tools for you to head towards your most enlightened version of self. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about finding the teacher in today, using every person, obstacle, and moment as an opportunity to teach you and reflect to you your ability to make new choices or not, and turning that into a lifestyle that is not only helpful to you in your growth, expansion, healing, but doing it in a framework or in a way that's sustainable and manageable. We get stuck in these patterns of labeling challenges as setbacks, people as difficult or helpful, days as good or bad. But what if each of those moments or people or interactions is actually a teacher in disguise? We're going to explore how shifting perspective and building upon these fundamental belief systems can transform your everyday life into a classroom for growth, but again, in a way that's sustainable and manageable that avoids that burnout feeling. We're going to start with the main building block, the base building block of a fundamental belief that I invite you to embrace and consider, that the world is your mirror. Every person, everything, every interaction, everything that surrounds you in your life is potentially an opportunity to reflect back to you something about yourself, your beliefs, your triggers, your habits, your choices, your feelings. We are going to explore and build upon this building block that everything around us is reflecting something about us back to us, good, bad, or neutral. That also comes with the acceptance that that type of teacher, that teaching concept that the world is your mirror, isn't always kind or convenient. It's whoever or whatever shows up that points you inward in that hot now moment. And it can happen on the daily. And we're going to explore how to build these belief system blocks in a way that shifts your perspective so that we don't frame our days and our spaces and our interactions as good, bad, tough, easy, but rather we navigate through life and we flow through the challenges and the surprises and interactions and choices of life in a way that continues to expand us, but in a way that doesn't feel like a daunting, trudging, upward healing task of striving to heal all the time. But again, we're going to start with the fundamental belief that everything around us is an opportunity to examine something about us, including, and I'll get to this in another topic, including what isn't about you or what you are being called to observe more detachment from rather than observe something inwardly about yourself. Some practical examples of how the teacher shows up in your everyday moment lives would be a rude stranger in traffic, getting stuck at every red light, feeling frustrated when you have to wait in line at the grocery store or the drive-thru, a coworker or someone important to you missing the deadline, dropping the ball, or letting you down, and personal mistakes, ways that you let yourself down. These are all opportunities to ask yourself things like, what am I getting so upset about? What could I be more patient about? What could I communicate clearer about? What are the expectations that I had or have about this situation that aren't being met? Am I being realistic about it? How could I observe these expectations that I'm making in a new way? How can I be more self-compassionate or discerning about what's best for me? These are all questions that we could potentially ask ourselves in everyday now moments. Now, before you go thinking that, holy cow, like I don't need to make every time I'm standing in line at the grocery store about, personal empowerment and healing, growth, and development. I get that. I will say that the point of balancing this duality here of exploring every now moment and where the teacher is in it comes with the other guardrail of how do I do this in a way that still makes me feel like I'm just living life and it's an adventure and it's not a trial. Every day isn't a trial and a striving effort to improve myself. There comes with the embracing of these dualities that our lives comes with seasons of major growth and expansion, as well as plateaus or a lot less focused shift on healing and integration because we're enjoying a particular other aspect or season of our lives, and that's all okay. But we're going to continue on in building these, knowing that we've come up with several real life examples of how in everyday life, everyday moments, we could be being called to look inward and look a little deeper and ask ourselves what we're seeing and noticing about not only the situation, but ourselves in the situation. We're going to build upon that belief system with another spiritual layer in the belief system that life is not happening to you, it's happening for you, and that even small mundane irritations or challenging moments carry spiritual insight when met with awareness and presence. In my personal life, this is about building my relationship with the divine, building the strength of my connection and my belief and my surrender to the fact that I am being led and guided, even in those everyday moments that seem pretty mundane, frustrating, surprising, less than ideal, whatever. I'm building a spiritual belief system on top of that belief system that the world is my mirror of what is God trying to show me in this now moment? What am I being called to see? So we're going to add that spiritual layer. There's also a practical layer to that, whether you want to stack it like this, or maybe spirituality is not your forte or not something you're interested in focusing on, but you're focusing on seeing the practicality of, if I want XYZ to happen in my life, but what I'm doing and seeing and observing isn't going that way, and my behavior is showing me that, what do I get to change about myself to get the results I want? Such as communication is a great example. If I communicate to people this way, and this is happening, it's not what I want, but I want something else, what is the opportunity I'm being called to see in my communication patterns where I can more easily and more efficiently get what it is that I'm seeking? Yeah. So practicality and spirituality upon this belief system built set that the world is my mirror. Moving on towards integration. We're using basically reflection to practice the integration. And I will say that in your everyday life, as we go to shift to integration, this is one of those few things where it's a little bit of fake it till you make it. In the fact that, yes, we can reflect all we want, but it takes some time in those everyday moments to practice becoming aware of the opportunity to observe if the teacher is here or not in this day, in this moment, in this opportunity. So using reflection, whether it's journaling, having a conversation with someone you trust, processing inward or outward out loud, doing the reflection piece of who or what taught me something today. Even if it's just one thing in a day. And then whether you want to observe it as gratitude or not, becoming aware of the moments you are finding in the day where observation and reflection is being pointed out to you. Gradually, you'll start seeing patterns of things you're noticing. A really great example in my life is noticing over a couple weeks that my interactions with my young child, my 5-year-old, is going in particular directions or causing specific irritation and triggers in me regarding, whether it's at bedtime or going to school or, our interactions, whether one or both of us are in happy, joyful places or not. I'm being called to observe my responses to that. And so in my noticing the pattern of when I was experiencing more levels of frustration or not in interacting with my young child, it was my call to observe how, as a parent, I'm being called to be reliable, steady, a leader, in control, regardless of if one or both of us is at our best or not, to show that I'm the parent and I am reliable and that I can guide us both through this interaction even when I'm not feeling my best. So that was my call to deeper compassion for the both of us, patience for the both of us, and stepping into a leadership role of navigating the situation in a reliable, calm, and trustworthy manner. Yeah. So in the final shifting of integrating these mindset beliefs comes with the daily practice of, instead of asking why me, asking what is this showing me, or what am I being called to notice right now? I will say that this took quite a bit of practice for me, and I didn't always get it right. I still don't always get it right. There are some days when your human just wants to go, you know what? Forget it. I don't want to see the lesson in this. I'm just red hot mad, or I'm just disappointed, or I'm just let down, and I can't see it right now. That's okay. We're all going to human. We're a soul in a human carcass, and we're going to have those moments where we don't choose to see the teacher in that day, in that moment. That's okay. My point in all of this is to say that rather than struggling through the effortful choice of every day trying to choose, am I going to see the teacher in this moment? Am I going to choose What is this showing me over why me? We're practicing building a lifestyle mindset shift so that the way we view challenges in life becomes an easeful, more of an adventure lifestyle of flowing through and letting the teacher show up every day in life's lessons in a manageable, I wouldn't say enjoyable all the time, but entertaining way where we can sit back and go, I see what you're doing there, God, rather than the effortful, continual strife and push for healing and expansion as in an effortful choice. We're trying to incorporate this in a lifestyle that creates ease and flow. Yeah? So in closing, building upon these belief systems, yeah, that every person, every circumstance, every little discomfort carries a teacher. Are you willing to meet the teacher? Are you paying attention? Are you willing to look at yourself in the situation and let yourself be shown what the teacher of the moment is showing you? Then you get to choose whether you want to continue the way you're continuing because you're okay with that and that's where you wish to continue that trajectory, or possibly make a different choice, different lifestyle change, different shift in a way that gets you a different result. Using these belief systems to balance teaching and letting life and letting life teach you as an adventurous lifestyle rather than effort and strife. So I hope this was a little nugget of an invitation to shift belief systems in a way that lets all those little moments of frustration become an opportunity and a challenge with an optimistic tone to it rather than feeling stuck, frustrated, held back like a victim. The point of all of this is that viewing these mindset shifts, viewing life's challenges and the daily teacher to show up like that is an opportunity to stay in empowerment and forward momentum in your life and all in the ways that you wish to expand or not expand. So I hope that was a powerful tool and motivating factor for you to let the teacher show up every day, whether it's at a red light, at the grocery store, or in the eyes of your best friend, parent, spouse, whoever, whatever unfolds in your day. Meet it with some grace, some fun, some spunk, and some open-mindedness, yeah? Keep seeking, keep softening, keep showing up. Remember, the light you're looking for is the light you already are. Take care.